A 3 months notice period was actually a barrier to me. I had some few backlogs. So that actually blocked me from sitting into the placement. You'll get like 3.3 LPA. When I first start to sit for interviews, right? Even a single line query I could not type it. Period. I had like 5 offers in hand. Wow. Even I am wondering how I got chance for that senior data engineer role.
So our guest speaker actually did a magical thing. He was just having 1.5 years of experience, and he cracked the senior data engineer role, which required 3+ years of experience. And the most interesting thing, in his college, he was not even allowed to sit in the placement because he was having 16 backlogs. And even after that, he prepared, he tried off campus, somehow managed to move into the TCS. And from TCS, now he has moved into the senior data engineer role, that too in a product-based company. And honestly speaking, earning a really good package. So if you are also aspiring data engineer and looking for this kind of motivational dose to move from service-based companies like TCS to good product-based companies, then this is the podcast which you should watch till the very end, and this is gonna be super informative. And also one more time, I am reminding you that our first fast track data engineering bootcamp Noob 1.0 batch is starting on 3rd of June. So if you have not enrolled in this bootcamp as of now, link and the coupon code is in the description. So hurry up and enroll in this bootcamp as soon as possible, because only 1 week time is left. So I am waiting for you, and I will see you all in the live class. So let's get started with the podcast. All right. So thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining me in today's podcast. Really excited to have a conversation with you. So it would be really great if you can give your introduction to the audience and anything you want to talk about, your academic background, past and current professional background as well.
Yes, Shashank. Before starting, big thanks. Thanks for having me here. I'm really a huge fan of you. And then from watching your videos from the very, very beginning to really be in that video, right? It's a separate feel. Thank you. So to start off with myself, from college, I did my graduation in Chennai, St. Joseph College of Engineering, in the major of information technology. And then I have for 1.5 years I have been working in the TCS Tata Consultancy Services, and then currently I'm working as a data engineer at Comcast. Yes.
How was your journey, like from engineering college to getting your first job, right? It would be great if you can talk about it, like starting from the college, then how you got your first job, the first salary, and what all things happened in between.
So during my college days, actually, I didn't realize that in the industry, like coding is very important. In the industry, I didn't specifically spend time in doing competitive programming, preparing such things. I didn't even do. I think that is a mistake, huge mistake. And then I realized those things. And then days went, and during the placement time, during my 6th semester, not completed. The time placement occurs. At the time, I had some few backlogs. So that actually blocked me from sitting into the placements. I didn't even try giving any interviews. I didn't even had any experience. Like, even when you give the interviews, you will know this or that where you missed. We have to prepare. So I didn't even try. That was one another barrier. And then days went, and pandemic actually hit on those days. And it went like that. Everything was from home only. The exams were kept online, and then things went like that. And then after I cleared, it took more than 6 months, 7 months delayed. And then I started preparing for interviews again and giving through off campuses. And for TCS, it was we should be pretty good at aptitude and then fundamentals of programming. That's what at that time it was required. So I started preparing those, and that's how TCS happened to me. Yes.
Okay, so in TCS, what profile did you get, and how was the salary range at that time for you?
So the first entry level what we get in TCS is it is assistant system engineer. So for that it will be we will get like 3.3 LPA. That's the starting package. And also yeah, that's how it went, and luckily I got into data engineering. In TCS, like we cannot guarantee like whichever project we will get. Like after the only after the after the training sessions got over, you will get calls based on the projects will get calls, and based on the calls only you will get allocated. So you cannot say what project is it. They will ask about some hobbies and your interest, and they'll allocate to some other project. And by coincidence and luck, it happened for me as a to get data engineering projects.
When and how did you get the motivation to become the data engineer? And also, as you said, like you are not good in coding, so how did you manage? Because as per my experience in the DE role, somebody has to be good in the coding side as well.
So obviously after I'm into the project, like before I had an idea about those web application part. I did an intern actually during the pandemic in a startup. So for 2 months I was into all the front end, like CSS, HTML, those things, and script. I worked on those, so I had a pretty good idea on those. But actually when I was there, I didn't really enjoy the work. But when I started working in TCS, that's when coding is also very important in data engineering. Then I started preparing myself. I'll do some problem statements in the internet, and I'll solve those things. I'll use HackerRank and solve many problems. That's how I practice coding myself. I was into Python, and that's how everything was interesting for me. Whatever I did in this TCS, right? Apart from what the previous experience which I had, this data engineering was really interesting to me, like creating pipelines, doing ETLs, and doing business logics in the these things, right? These things was pretty motivational, and then that was the only thing that was interested to me. So I think data engineering would be the right place for me. That's how.
Share something about your recent company switch. Like, how did you prepare for the product-based company? What all core and important skill set of data engineering you focused on? And most important, how many job offers you cracked during this transition?
So to start with, the thing which actually triggered me to search for jobs, right? is your videos, actually, your podcasts. Wow. I have been following that from very beginning. I used to see people with 1 or 2 years of experience are doing data engineering and getting paid about an LPA. I used to hear that. So those things actually a motivational factor for me. So I thought maybe we should choose outside that. I went on an idea. That was the thing which triggered. And eventually, to start with, when I first start to sit for interviews, right? Even a single line query I could not type it. I will be rejected. Maybe I would know that query, but due to nervousness, I couldn't do that. So that's how it actually initially started, and then as I mentioned earlier, HackerRank helped me a lot in preparing the interviews. I used to solve SQL questions there, and Python as well. I'd code there, and gradually I was learning for the preparing for the interviews, and all the playlist which you shared as well, the SQL playlist. Those also I'll be going through. That's how it went, the preparation strategy. And for Spark as well, I went through Spark pay examples. There will be a page that helped me a lot to understand the core of Spark, and then preparing those as well. That's how I started with it initially, and by the end, I think towards the end, when it was the last time around the notice period, I had 5 offers in hand.
Wow. So 5 offers, all from the good product-based companies, or including other service-based firms as well?
Service-based startups, and then product-based, a mix of all 3.
Wow. So just one more curious question. You only named 3 things: the Python, coding, SQL, and Spark. So when you were interviewing in the company, those companies did not focus on other interesting tools in the big data like Kafka and Airflow, NoSQL databases. So can you help this to understand, because most of fresher wants to know till what extent they need to prepare.
So in the interview perspective, mostly I have seen is in the technical terms, they would focus on Python, SQL, and Spark. This is like very important. People who are new also could start from learning any programming languages first, and then go on to SQL, strong in SQL. And then go to Spark. That's the order which I followed, which actually really worked for me. That's the interview perspective in terms of technical. They will ask in these around these three. They will target your questions, and and others are like other technologies is also important. But they will touch upon those. They will not deep dive into those like NoSQL databases. I also worked on this, and then AWS. That are all like added advantage to you. But these three, what I mentioned, the first three are the like very important in terms of technical interviews.
So with just 1.5 years of experience, you cracked the senior data engineer role, and that too in a product-based company. So what did you do differently while applying for the jobs to get senior role? And also share your complete interview experience at this level. Means in the interviews, how many rounds happened in each round, what interviewers were asking. So please share this interesting part as well.
Even I'm wondering how I got chance for that senior data engineer role. Like how it happened was like actually Naukri helped me like very much. Many calls I got from Naukri only. I used LinkedIn also to apply to many jobs, but mostly which worked was Naukri. For this also well, I got call from Naukri only, and then the recruiter was like, she went through my profile and she said, yeah, your experience pretty low, but your skill sets are like a perfect match for us. Wow. So if you are strong enough, then I can proceed forward like that. She was like, so I said, yeah, I'm pretty good in whatever I mentioned, so you can proceed. That's how it happened actually. And I think there was totally like 4 rounds. The first round was initial like hacker rank test. It was sent to me. I think around 1 hour we have to spend it to complete it. 2 data structure related questions in Python, and then a SQL questions was there. Okay. So yeah, that's how it was the first round, and then I completed that one. And then the second round was like a face-to-face, and the interviewer asked to share the screen and do some questions related to Python and then Spark as well. I think in Python, questions around the dictionaries list, dictionary sorting, and frequency of a string, around those things, the questions was there. And then Spark as well, some discussion about the architecture of Spark, those things, and then UDFs in Spark, those things around that questions was there. That's how it was. I think the third round was like, third round again a technical, and then it was focused on SQL, some questions around the window functioning, those things, performing aggregations, I think questions around the SQL. I think that's it pretty much. And then final round was with managerial and behavioral, and then HR discussions. That's how it went. Yes.
Cool. So what challenges did you face while switching from service-based to product-based companies? So it can be anything, right? Whatever you face, even a tiny challenge or a very big, like a rock-like challenge. So please tell us about that and how did you deal with that?
So the challenges was like a 3 months notice period was actually a barrier to me. When you say it like people, the recruiters won't proceed you further if you have 3 months of notice period. But you could convince them, like you could say like if you could talk to your team, like the project is in the completion stage or some like that, I could talk to my team and get relieved in 2 months. They would accept like that. You can that was a barrier actually, 3 months. And then it was like work experience was actually a barrier. Like some companies would allow you to give interviews even if you have 1.5. But I have seen some service-based companies like when you say 1.5, like okay, you don't have to. We need only two, like that. They might tell. But like even if you take Comcast, they gave me a chance. I had 1.5 only, but the position required two plus actually. Yeah, but some companies will give you a chance. That is a barrier for some companies, but it will happen. So those are the barriers I think I faced while moving from a service based to product based.
And any incidents you remember where product based companies were reluctant to shortlist your profile because you belong to service based company, or you did not have a exposure of working dedicatedly on these type of projects?
No, Shashank. Like I have not seen any such cases. They will see like prioritize only if your skill set matches to that particular job. They are giving you going to give you a chance. Even after if you are from a startup, they are not going to consider that and all. Skill set is what that is going to matter.
Okay. Did you feel you got enough number of interview calls, job opportunities? Because nowadays I keep on getting the question that, sir, it's a recession time, companies are laying off, whether it's good to switch or companies will shortlist our profile. If they shortlist, whether they will give the good salary hike or not. So what did you observe during this company switch?
So what I see is like I applied like 6 months before. At that time, I think before the recession starting, before the start of recession, I guess 6 months before. So that time.
But even I guess 6 months. If we go back 6 months, yes. Still companies started laying off. Yes, I do remember.
Okay, yeah, that's what happened. But but at that time I got many calls. I got many calls. I got interview scheduled for many companies as well, and they were giving expected hikes also. But now also I see like people during the layoffs also, but comparatively I think quite less nowadays from what I have seen from friends giving interviews, right? The market has slightly become worse only, but if you see data engineering perspective, still the demand is there. Still in my companies also they hire data engineers. Even 2 days before a new recruit joined my team itself. That's happening. If you have the right skill set, and then if you're strong enough in those things, I think surely you can excel wherever you are. That will not be a barrier. Yes.
So how did you negotiated on the salary part in your first company switch itself? Because lots of people at least lack into this one, like negotiating their salaries. And another important thing, how much salary you were offered in product based companies at this experience level?
It was also quite challenging. So if you say like moving from a service based to product based, obviously you will get a good amount of hike. But if you see, companies might like ask you. You can negotiate with counter offers. That is definitely a good thing. Like you can negotiate, but even before the interviews, like they may ask you like still you have an offer, then why do you apply? They will have a thought like you may or may not join our company even after giving the interviews. But those are the times you have to be like precise with your answers. Maybe my desire is to join a product based company, or I should explore this or these technologies. You should be clear. Then they will like proceed with the interviews, and then you can at the end, if the interview goes well, you can negotiate accordingly. In that way you can get a good amount of hike. So considering my year of experience, like I started giving interviews post my 1 year of experience, and then I switched in 1.5 years. So if I say like 1 and 1.5 years, the companies we could expect like from in the range of 10 to 15 LPA for 1.5 years. That's what I.
Wow, I guess this is a very good number, very good number with 1.5 years of experience. Because I was getting just 40% of this one, what you mentioned, when I was having 1.5 years of experience. So that's a very good number, and I guess this is something which will encourage, and this is the reason I keep on asking salary related question to each of my guest speaker. Thank you Sanjay, thank you so much for answering all these questions, and most important, sharing your experience, right? And I think that's a motivation for all the aspiring data engineers who are watching this podcast. With 1.5 years of experience, you can definitely move into product based companies. It's all about the right strategy, right way of applying into the companies, and obviously salary negotiation part. So it was great interacting with you, Sanjay. Thank you so much for joining us. A big thanks from my side and from the entire audience side.
Yeah, Shashank. It's a great pleasure for inviting me here. And then, it went well. Yeah. So I enjoyed a lot. I still enjoy your videos. Thank you, Shashank.
So that is what I had in this amazing podcast with Sanjay. I hope you would have enjoyed his entire journey and experience, and most important, transition from the service-based to product-based firm. If yes, you find it informative, make sure to hit the like button, and also if you are new to the channel, then subscribe and press the notification icon. I will see you guys really soon with another amazing podcast. Till then, just keep exploring data.